folks, welcome to the channel, Rockin' the Country. The title of this song already has me thinking a lot. And firstly, it's a gift request by Eliyahs Romans. And Eliyahs, you've already got me going, man. Kitty Wells, will your lawyer talk to God? I'm wearing my Jerusalem hat, or my Yerushalayim hat. And because I went to Israel about 12 years ago or so and spent a couple weeks there. Actually went into the West Bank, went through the Golan Heights, had lunch in Syria. It's quite the trip. But will your lawyer talk to God? I mean, firstly, you'd have to have a really good lawyer, presumably. But the whole idea of, I think this is going to be about, could a lawyer talk you into heaven if you had questionable character and God disapproved? How would that conversation go? And I, being a philosopher at heart, love contemplating these kinds of things. Because you set out a group of premises to begin with, and then you look at what would come from that based on those premises. It doesn't mean you agree with the premises. I mean, one of the things you study in philosophy or economics, and they're closely linked in some ways, everything is linked to philosophy because it's just a matter of thinking. How do you think? But you could say, okay, if you made all children stay inside the house between the hours of noon and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, what would be the result? Well, it doesn't mean you agree with that, that you want that to happen, but you would just play it forward and say, okay, well, that would mean the mothers would have to be in the house. That would mean there wouldn't be as many people in the store shopping. That means the stores might go under. And there wouldn't be as many people on the road. But you could always get your wife or husband or babysitter at home in the house at that time. I mean, whatever. You could play it out. But that's just the nature of thinking. Will your lawyer talk to God? What kind of lawyer would you have? Even if you're an atheist, you can contemplate these things and have fun with them. It does not mean you believe them. So let's see how this is developed. Oh, and Eliyahs said you were going to request Here Comes My Baby by Kitty, but Kyle Perkins beat him to it. So we're on to this one now. Kitty Wells. Eliyahs, thank you for this gift, my friend. Let's see where we go. Country baseline.
Your lawyer called and said he had the papers all prepared. To sign my name was all I had to do. He saw the judge, now he's seen me. There's only one thing left. Will your lawyer talk to God for you?
Ooh, that is a very strong reference to the idea that divorce is wrong in the eyes of God. Now, I don't happen to believe that, but I'm not a fan of divorce, though. I'm like, if you can make it work, you make it work, and you get over your temporary dissatisfaction. You try to work your way through that because there's a reason you fell in love with the person. But I like will your lawyer talk to God for you? You're the one who filed these papers. You're the one that's blowing this thing up. Now we might find out the reasons, though, why he's leaving. Maybe he's got another lover out there. And maybe you will have to answer to that on some level. I think we live out the consequences of our bad decisions right here on planet Earth because this world is a very difficult place to live. I actually wrote a list. I didn't mean for it to be this long. And I will send you a digital version of this, but of 1,500 things that won't exist in a perfect world or in heaven, things that we will not have to live with. And I think we just make life very difficult on ourselves. But anyway, all right, enough of that. Let's see where she goes with this. I love her voice, too.
Will your lawyer talk to God and plead your case up on high and defend the way you broke my heart in two? Man-made law satisfied? Will your lawyer talk to God for you? We all face that final judgment, and it's very strict, they say. When your time comes, I wonder what you'll do. Will you bow your head in shame, or will you turn your head away? Or will your lawyer talk to God for you? Will your lawyer talk to God and plead your case up on high? And if in the way you broke my heart in two, man-made laws set you free on earth, but is God satisfied? Will your lawyer talk to God for you?
Yeah, that's where, a lot of our morality and ethics come from, the biblical texts. And it is one of these things that keeps a lot of people in check. And I know I have another channel. It's called The Agnostic Philosopher. It was originally called Thinking Theology, and it wasn't about establishing theology. It was just about various arguments pro and con, and I would see and discuss how those arguments were made, and if I felt I thought they were insufficient. But one of the things that we have to be careful of in this world is, even if you're an atheist, which I'm not, but I believe it makes more sense that the matter that we see in the universe came from a mind, if you will, a being. It just makes more sense to me that it went in that direction, and that being this extraordinarily powerful being we call God. Now, whether or not God wrote the biblical text or not, or had people write the text, the dictation theory and all these things play into it, and which I won't go into at length here, but it as even for hardcore atheists, one of the things to be, even if you think it's just absolutely insane to believe in God, it's stupid, it's childish, people believe in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and now God, the various arguments that are thrown about. You have to be careful, though, in some ways, what are you going to replace it with? Because being kind to others is a biblical precept. And being kind to others is generally a societal precept, but it's not mandated by law to be kind to other people. You don't have to let somebody out into traffic on a busy day. Societally, though, it really does work better to let someone in a traffic. It just helps us get along with one another and reduces the angst and all that. But as far as reducing, it puts ideas in people's minds that there is a better way to live. It sort of might heighten our metacognition about how to relate to others. And in the context of this song, "You broke my heart." Are you so sure that you're not going to have to answer for this? So much so that with your lawyer who filed the papers to the judge, the earthly judge, could your lawyer argue your case successfully against the heavenly judge? And sure. If you believe that there's a judgment day coming, according to the Christian texts, and the Hebrew texts are a little bit different, what are commonly referred to as the Old Testament, that is a notion of like an earthly kingdom known as paradise on earth and such, where the lion will lay down with the lamb and there'll be peace on earth. The Christian concept is more closely allied with Plato's thinking that there's a heavenly realm up there somewhere where we become some kind of angels, and the depictions of people with wings or angels with wings. That's what we become. We're up there looking down. That's the common conception. Nonetheless, Could your lawyer argue that on your behalf, and would it be acceptable? And it was tied together nicely in the end. Would God accept your argument, accept the fact that you broke my heart? And maybe God would. Maybe God would. Within the context of the song, maybe she was very difficult to live with. And maybe she's just making him feel guilty according to possibly his Christian faith and hers. Maybe they both had the same faith, and now she's just pushing additional buttons that, look, you're even worse than I thought. Your lawyer wouldn't even be able to plead your case. Maybe she was impossible. But of course, we're hearing her side of it, and you feel bad for her, and you're like, oh, that guy's a jerk. That's our immediate reaction, but he may not be. 70% of divorces are filed by women. And so if he's filing one, does that imply that she was in the wrong? No, you cannot assume that. But it doesn't exonerate her instinctively either. So, man, Eliyahs, you got me going on this one. There's a lot. Anytime you bring in a theological concept, it has philosophical implications, for me at least, anyway. So, all right, I'm going to rate this one. The number that popped in my head was a 9.3. Her voice was very believable. Beautiful, of course, because it's Kitty Wells, but the subject matter of the song, coupled with Kitty singing it, I just was spectacular. I mean, it got me going, and I love being made to think and feel. It's like, ooh, how would he answer that question? The guy, her ex-husband, soon to be. So there you go, guys. That's going on the playlist of songs of 9 and above. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. See you on another video. I don't know. Keep your conscience clear and keep rocking the country.